Welcome to this edition of Rise and Shine. I'm Robert Battles.
I'm James Gordon.
And I'm Henry Hassid.
And today we're going to talk about politics. Brother Hassid.
Yes, we'd like to start with a brief prayer here before we get started here. We always want to invoke our Creator. With the name of God, merciful benefactor, the merciful Redeemer, thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for aid. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom thou hast restored thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. Amen.
Amen. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
You're standing by your car or walking across Government Street. You hear screeching tires, but you can't move. Too late, man down. But good news, nothing is broken. Call me, chiropractor Dr. James Gordon. No money needed. We get paid when the insurance company pays. Don't delay. Call today. Get seen right away. 476-PAIN. The choice is yours. Join Robert Battles, Henry Hasib, and myself this Sunday at 5:30 in the morning for the next edition of Rise and Shine on Fox 10.
H&H Financial Services in Mobile has over 20 years experience in accounting, bookkeeping, appraisals, real estate, and year-round tax preparations. Give them a call today at 251-438-1620 or visit them at 1560 St. Stephen's Road in Mobile. Let your money grow in our care at H&H Financial Services.
And we welcome you back to this edition of Rise and Shine. Today we've been talking about politics and the impact that it has on you and your family.
Dr. Gordon, glad to have you with us here. What are some of your comments on this political talk, this political education that is essential to our progress?
I think on the politics, on the side of it, I think it'd be, when doing the show going out to the public, we need to speak on both sides. So it doesn't necessarily mean our views are either on either side, because we're getting into the political season here shortly, and when that happens, when we're in the political season, we need to make sure that we're speaking about the benefits, the pros and the cons of both parties. So I think necessarily, the main thing that I tell folks, and I make sure all the patients know and everybody I come in contact with, is that you vote and know why you're voting. I'm not going to say who to vote for, because our community has been has a long history of telling people who to vote for. And as you said, it's as bad as being prohibited from voting when you don't vote. That's what you're saying, being akin to being in the penal system or whatnot, where you can't vote, is when you sit at home and don't vote when you have the ability to vote. So I think that's what we need to get to the general public, is that it's very important that they do exercise their right to vote, but know why they're voting for the person. You, Robert Battles, Brother Henry Hassid, Brother Robert Battles, and myself, James Gordon, have all ran for political positions, and we needed people to vote for us. And we all may know people who voted for us for the right reason and people who voted for us for the wrong reason. We need to say to the people, I need you to vote for me, but know why you're voting for me. Or ask that question, why are you voting for me? Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be because of you like Robert Battles' hair. It shouldn't be.
Well, I ain't got no hair.
You gotta live it up there, brother. So I'll let Robert talk. He keeps trying to get it in.
Well, it shouldn't be because of his hair, Doc, but the voter apathy is really a serious problem, especially in our communities, that need to be addressed.
Voter apathy, you could look at the historical perspective of it. It's just like your own relationship that you evolve with every day. If your significant other or your partner is not an active participant in the decisions that are made within the family, you got a problem. If your wife or whatever...
Well, you got a problem if you're the one not making the decisions.
That's right.
One of you have
One of you have it. But when we talk about the politics of it, Julian Bond, my late friend who we memorialized on 2 weeks ago, had a statement. He says that the more intelligent the electorate is, the better quality of life that they have. And I think that's true.
Well, you know, on one thing, you said that no participation is participation, but it's participation in the worst sense.
That's right.
So if you don't make a decision is being made for you.
Exactly. Now, I think that's very, very important. But what do y'all know? We got a lot of candidates to talk about. We got a very short amount of time. So, brother, I see. What do you think about? You want to start with the Republicans or the Democrats?
Well, you know, when it comes to both Republican and Democrat, we got a lot of improvement that can be done.
Why we just do none of the above?
Yeah.
No, you got to put one on. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton.
We got candidates that now are running for office here, and
on the Democratic side, we got Hillary Clinton, we got Bernie Sanders, and they're talking about Joe Biden coming into the race, Vice President Joe Biden. So what are the pros and the cons?
And Kanye West.
Kanye,
Yeah,
that's
that's right.
20,
Kanye
he said
West,
20,
that's
I think
right,
he
yeah.
said 2020. I think he said 2020. So that's going to be 4 years down the road.
Oh, okay, so.
And he was a little bit high on that show, so he may not remember what he said when he sobers up. So I'm going to say this is a gospel show, brother, I see. So let me, on a gospel station, we're talking politics. Politics is universal, so we must talk about it regardless of what environment we're in. I would like to say that one of my concerns with Bernie Sanders' platform is that he's making a lot of promises. It sounded like a 1980s campaign poster was dusted off, and a few new things were added in there. Instead of the minimum wage, he says he want to do $15 minimum wage. He's going to say he's going to make college free for everybody. He says he wants to. He's just sort of a Pollyanna type of candidate. Anything that you want done, he said he can do it. Only problem is, in my opinion, he's been in the office for about 20 years or so as a senator, not as a congressman, as a senator. Senators is one of 100. So if you got any clout as a senator, you usually can get things done.
That's right.
And if you couldn't get it done for 20 years or 24 years that you've been a senator, how is it that you're going to get it done as a president, which has to work with the Congress? You know, the president and the Congress works together for the laws. One doesn't dictate to the other. They're both equal.
And you know, brother, Dr. Gordon, I know brother Hasib, our host today, you know, I saw him on TV at the Trump rally.
Come on, you know,
If I didn't have a previous appointment, I probably would have been there. Robert,
I listened to the
first
Trump rally.
hand.
Okay, you're going to flip to the Republican side. Now, one thing about Trump. Now, I've never voted Republican, but I want to say that one thing I have to give credit to on Donald Trump is that even though he has an abrasive personality, he speaks truthfully when he says that it's going to be hard. He was attacking his own party. He said it's going to be hard for candidate Jeb Bush to go against the power structure when the power structure put him in office. So we lost a Ford plant in Tennessee that's down in Mexico. There's 20 plants. I got a book coming out. Talks about I'm a patriot, as we all are, and this book that I'm talking about is how we're hurting our country. But some of the things I put in my book, Donald Trump already let the cat out of the bag, so I think somebody snuck him a copy.
You know, in this political season that we're in, is sad to say that in order to remain in a political position, most politicians and employees have to adhere and devote their allegiance to political and economical expediency.
And you know, brother, I see nothing cut you off, but that
Well,
is
you
so
sure
right.
did, Robert. You just let me.
I'm glad somebody else fighting.
I have to
Oh, we invited.
I'm gonna have to
We're gonna invite Robert.
We just having fun today, but let me just complete that thought. But it's at the expense of moral intelligence.
And continue with that cutoff that Brother Robert started. Would you please speak regular English? Because I'm over here. I don't know what you're saying.
Our audience do. I'm glad we got a more educated audience.
Than our
than we
panel. Okay, brother.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, go ahead, Robert, and finish your comments.
Interpret what you just said.
Oh, I was saying that it's sad today that we have politicians that, in order to
Now, see, hold on a second. See, when Fred Sanford was on, the white police officer came to the scene and he explained to the guys in legal jargon what was going on. Then the black officer, Officer Battle, said what he's trying to say
Mhm.
is to move your car.
But in that same regard, though, when we're talking about the politics, to make it more relevant now, I was at a meeting the other night with the City of Mobile retirees,
Yes, sir.
where the mayor for the City of Mobile is contemplating on cutting insurance. So we need to make sure that there are going to be some rallies coming up in conjunction with those city employees and city retirees, so that if you don't speak up, then you're not going to even be part of the problem.
But see, I think that's what I'm saying to Brother Hasib and you now, Brother Battles. When we're talking out, when we're saying things to people, Brother Hasib read this beautiful, eloquent definition.
PhD.
But to our listeners and the people like me, sometimes we need the plain English version. Now, Brother Battles, on your side, okay, you're saying that Mayor Sandy was saying, okay, we got to go from Blue Cross Blue Shield to Humana or one other health care. But to our listeners, and what my book speaks about is we got to start writing down the pros and the cons of issues. Don't just listen to people and don't say, okay, I'm going to join this Black Lives rally that's out here. Why is it Black Lives Matter? Why is it not All Lives Matter? Why is it not Police Lives Matter? Why is it not? But I'm saying, why is it not All Lives Matter? Why? Okay, if we join a group with a rhetoric, if you say I'm joining the group to say I don't like Humana, well, why don't you like Humana? What is it about Humana that's bad? What is it about Blue Cross Blue Shield that's good? Compare it and then look at the budget. Say, okay, if Robert Battles, the school board commissioner, says, hey, I got $100 million to spend, and the policy that Brother Hasib has as a teacher is costing $50 million more than that. Then you're going to have to find a way, and if you come to the table and saying, I don't like what you're doing, Commissioner Battles, what's your alternative?
Okay, Dr. Gordon, since you put me on the spot, you talk about the comparison. With Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you have an opportunity to go to your doctor or whoever you want to, but then the problem with the voice about Humana was that Humana, most physicians don't take Humana because Humana is a bad payer. So that causes significant. So if you got a significant problem and you got to go and seek treatment and the doctor won't accept you, then you got a problem, Dr. Gordon.
Okay, but do you have
if they come to you and
Robert Battles, don't attack me.
I'm
You just attacking me. You attack Brother Hasib earlier.
These guests I got, I think I'm gonna run them
Pastor, can you get the security over here? 'Cause all I'm saying, Brother Battles, is okay. Now, why is the city even having that discussion? Is there enough money on the table, Brother Hasib?
Right.
You live
And
down here.
that's what I think. If
there's $1 on the table, and you got to spend $2, then you got to find a way to increase revenue to $2 if you want to keep what you have, or you got to change something. I'm asking. I heard what you heard about losing some of the benefits. Even maybe the eye care benefit goes away, or something like that. Some of the benefits may be different. But at the end of the day, why is a person trying? What if the money is going away? If you're trying to change something, why are you trying to change it? At the end of the day.
Okay, Dr. Gordon, if the money is so small,
I didn't say it was.
You know what you said?
I am.
Yeah, but the city is also spending $300,000 to $1 million on a park over there. So
that's $10 million on a soccer field.
On a soccer field.
Well, why ain't that in your district?
I think I'm invite you all back when we talk about financing. You know, we do talk about financing and budgeting also on this program. I'm gonna have to get to. But I understand this political field is so touching sometimes that we have to switch the conversation when it get a little hot. But these are issues that need to be addressed. And before we take our break, I would like to say again, if voter apathy is continued in the community, then we'll still get the same thing that we always have been getting. So one of the bottom line that we want to tell you is get involved. Not only just by voting, that should be the one step, but it's more to being politically involved than just the vote. Voting, we need you to vote, but we need you to get involved. We'll be right back after these commercials.
You're standing by your car or walking across Government Street. You hear screeching tires, but you can't move. Too late, man down. But good news, nothing is broken. Call me, chiropractor Dr. James Gordon. No money needed. We get paid when the insurance company pays. Don't delay. Call today. Get seen right away. 476-PAIN. The choice is yours. Join Robert Battles, Henry Hasib, and myself this Sunday at 5:30 in the morning for the next edition of Rise and Shine on Fox 10.
H&H Financial Services in Mobile has over 20 years experience in accounting, bookkeeping, appraisals, real estate, and year-round tax preparations. Give them a call today at 251-438-1620 or visit them at 1560 St. Stephen's Road in Mobile. Let your money grow in our care at H&H Financial Services.
So we're talking about the politics that's happening in the community and all the way up to the national level here. So, gentlemen, give me some more of your insight.
Let's talk about this, Robert Battles. I was noticing the at even the state level, you got a certain group in the state that want to push gambling, and there's certain people that want to stand in the way and say no gambling. Even those type discussions, there again, if you understand the fight on both sides, when a person stands in the way, and if there's one person standing in the way, they usually find a way to move the person out of the way. And you may have seen, situations come up where people, get in the news about issues that's going on in their life, and many times I guess we've got to pay attention to that in politics and just understand understand whatever it is you're voting on, whatever it is you're pushing for, understand why. Now, I love my Indian neighbors, my Creek Nation neighbors, but I wouldn't want a casino or gambling interest in the state covered by one entity. I think that's going to be, that's a monopoly, and that's always causes a problem. So even though I may support them with their Wind Creek endeavors and some, but I wouldn't want to say, okay, you guys own the dog track in Mobile, so bring the casino down here as well.
Has anybody else offered anything different though, Dr. George?
Yes, sir. There's many different offers on the table. There's currently there's a casino that's owned by the black residents of the Greene County. All the residents in Greene County own that casino. Mr. Wynn actually is the manager of that facility. All the black, I say black, white and black in that county. If you're white and black in that county, it happens to be 90% black. So they made that a big to do. But any resident in that county, Greene County, goes to college free. They get a job at the facility, and that county was just like our Wind Creek neighbors in Atmore, and many of them was on Medicaid and Medicare before they did the electronic gaming. I'm not pushing gambling on anyone. I'm just telling you what I know as the facts to be. I know that once these gambling facilities open up in Atmore and in Greene County to the level they're at now, Greene County was an old dog track. Once they open up, they've been able to get off of welfare. They make a good salary. It provides about 1,000 jobs, and everybody goes to college free in that community for revenues made by the facility that county owned, the county residents own.
Well, the problem that I have, not just with that issue, that is the issue that's facing the state of Alabama now, is that, as we said, voters' apathy, that the leaders that we select to go represent us, even in the State House or Washington, D.C., a lot of times after the election, we never see them again.
You can't say that about Robert Battles.
Well, I said a lot of them.
Yes, sir, you did say that.
And I said the State House or the national.
But
anyway, what I said is,
What you didn't say, you definitely didn't say.
is encouraging, as we encourage our listening audience to get involved in the political process. We gotta understand a lot of times why they're not involved, because once we elect a leader, then how many times do they come and inform us? And I understand why you're informed on the issues, but the average citizens here, let's say in Mobile, is not even informed on those issues. We don't even know how our representative, what they even think about it, whether they pro or con or what. We don't even know that.
But Steve, I just happen to be a different politician, because my whole idea is to serve. And the only way that you serve is you keep a good relationship with your constituency. You keep them informed, you interact with them, and at the same time, you request that they take an active participatory role in what's happening.
I would like to say that Robert Battles, Commissioner Battles, gives so much that my pocket fills it.
Oh, you sure?
I will say
we
this.
we paid everybody free at Winchell High School, man. The compliments of
And Brother Hasig, he was up there serving, and Miss Malden. I would say that Miss Eunice Malden
That's right.
graciously got there. I don't know if she saw me and Mike and Brother Hasig struggling, but she got out there and put her soldier's hat on and we came on with it.
And
we-
we Wilma Thrash, all of those people who supported us, so we just
On the
thank
stadium,
you.
yeah, they did a
Right.
good job.
Well, they
Fred Richardson.
and the community
yeah.
supported a lot, and this is really what I'm talking about.
Well, see, but the three people up here, if Brother Hasib serving, and Brother Brown serving, and Brother Gordon serving, we're all going to be servants. We're all going to give back. But I think the citizens, the constituency, has to hold people's feet to the fire. You say, okay, how about a public hearing? Why don't you call up, if Brother Hasib is your representative or your senator, call him up and say, hey, how about a community meeting? You shouldn't have to ask, but you should. But if you're in the community, it can come from either direction. So if Brother Hasib calls him up and say, hey, can we get a community meeting about this gambling thing? I don't know of anything positive about it. I think it's all negative, but I would like to hear your point of view or the proponents of it, because there's proponents in Washington, in Montgomery. There's proponents all over the country, because it's a $1 billion industry. And when you see these machines and whatnot in these facilities, people don't own them. These industries from Louisiana and California and Las Vegas and whatnot are have vested interests, and they say, look, why is this? I see the negatives in my community. I see people taking their rent money and trying to win money to buy that car, losing their rent money and getting evicted. So tell me how this becomes a positive, because I'm not seeing the positive, and ask them for a town hall meeting so that so people can express themselves, so we can know how it affects us. Same as free college. If you got Bernie Sanders, the presidential candidate, saying free college, say, Mr. Sanders, I understand we're a couple of $1 trillion and $20 trillion in debt, and you're talking about free college, isn't that going to be a cost? How does that even fit?
Well, we have to do like Robert said on the insurance. We have to cut some areas so it can happen.
But see, that's and you're right, and I agree to Brother Battles and that Commissioner Battles, but when you have that dialogue, understand that this money goes to people.
Right.
So anything you cut, even at the state level, at the local level, at the national level, it's going to affect people. So at some point, people got to come together and say, yeah, I'd rather you cut my XYZ in half to provide the group insurance for all of us. So that's what it's going to, like you hear it on the news sometime recently about the hunters and the game wardens and whatnot, saying that their budget's going to be cut. That wouldn't affect me, because I'm not that big on going into the woods these days. I love hunting and don't mind hunting, but I don't spend a lot of time hunting. So, but the hunters have a right to get their voices heard and say, hey, you're going to cut out the game wardens and all. That's going to make my life and my leisure time cut in half. And then we say, well, yeah, your leisure time we cut your leisure time to pay for a necessity.
Yeah, but you know, where the public involvement comes in is too many times we send people to different offices politically to represent us, and we never hear back from them again as to even know what's going on.
Right.
You ask people, because I think a lot of people will be surprised if they look at the Alabama budget as to what it does fund in that.
Yeah.
So we don't even look enough to even become upset or to be a proponent of it.
And I would like to challenge the constituents, though. But you know, it's one thing to say, brother, I see you're elected. I need you to do your job. But as your constituent, it's equally my job to say I need you to do your job, and I need you to set up a meeting. So let's challenge our listeners to call on there. You know, and then we should have stories where, yeah, I called this senator, I called the representative, I called this council person 10 times, asked him to set up a community meeting in my community, and he did it or he didn't do it. Because I challenged them to call Brother Ballard to set up a community meeting if it ain't already set up.
Well, finally,
Our brother-
yesterday at Means Middle School, I met with the local ministers, and we met with the local ministers to take them as an active partner, because like Noble Beasley said, the only way you're going to make change is by numbers, and hopefully together we can make numbers.
And that's what it's all about, and that's why we talking political talk, not specific to a specific candidate, but the process. And the process includes the masses of the people. We have more control than really what we think we have. But you know, if you take a people and you make them think that their one vote, as they say, don't count, and you get that over a whole community of people, then you got a problem, because everybody tends to stay at home during the process. But then when they are affected, we want to come out in groves, and we want to march and do all the other things together that we should have did when the process was being
And
created.
you know, brothers and sisters, I'd like to conclude my involvement by saying that we have to look at the scripture with Ezekiel on the dry bones. The dry bones, because the wind blew, came together. That's what we're going to have to do, put a mighty wind together in order to change the tide in our community.
Well, Robert, I like that saying. I guess I'm going to introduce you next time as Reverend Robert Bell.
Dr. Reverend Robert Bell.
Dr. Reverend Robert Bell.
Did the bishop over there go cut me off?
That is a good scenario, because it kind of shows what we need to do as a community.
Right.
Even though we may not be together today, we may be separated.
I tell them it's all in the book. I've always said that, it's in the book.
Well, you know what they say about in the book when it comes to African Americans anyway.
Well, I think it's to the working class, pretty much. But
well, we got to change that. They say if you want to keep it from blacks, just put it in a book. And that should not be a true statement. That's not a statement that was written in the scripture that is going to be true always. So that statement don't have to be true.
Yeah, the people who try to divide always try to find a way to divide. They use the Confederate flag to divide. They use little sayings about one race over another divide. But it's a class thing. If you don't have enough money to stop working and go home and live the rest of your life, then you're working class. And you're not rich. So get that out of your head, even if you got a little bit of money. If you don't have enough money to stop working for the rest of your life, you're not rich. So you're in the same class, you're in the same boat, black, white, pink, or red. And if they want something not red, if they want something for anybody, even when I was in the legislature, it was a majority of people up there. There weren't African Americans. The majority of people up there were it was like 30. It was 35, I think, African Americans, 105 European Americans. And very few people read the book. Very few people read the bill that they were voting on. So if that works, that's across the board. If you want it not read, just write it down.
Well, and that's a problem, because